billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome back to Women's View on Ahlulbayt TV. Today we're pleased to have Dr Fatima here in the studio with us, talking about her experience in Karbala, as she has just returned from Karbala during 10 days of Ashura. She was presenting to us live from Karbala. So inshallah today we'll be hearing about her experience. And I just want to remind you all that this is a live call-in show, so if you would like to call in with your views or opinions, then please do call in with the number on the screen. Some of your messages are already being shown at the bottom of the screen, so inshallah you can catch those in and out of the show. So let's go straight back to our show. I'm your host Zahra Al Alawi, and today with me is Dr Fatima. Assalamu alaikum. I mean, before the break you told us a lot about your experience and the planning that goes behind the scenes, and stuff we usually do not see on screen. So inshallah, that was really great. Now we have some comments from our viewers that were posted on Facebook. Let me read some of them. This is Sister Arwa, and I've been in contact with this sister quite a lot, and I believe you have as well. Mashallah. She said, "Assalamu alaikum and welcome back, my lovely sisters. I missed so much. I'm going to be waiting to hear the lovely experience of Sister Fatima, and inshallah, Sister Zahra will be called soon to go to Ziyarah, and Sister Fatima again, and hopefully I can meet you there with you both." So first of all, thank you very much for your kind comments. It's really heartwarming when we hear comments from our viewers, and inshallah I do pray that inshallah we all get the chance to go to Karbala, and inshallah with you as well, and many of our sisters from around the world. So inshallah we'll get that. Another comment from my sister Fatima Latif, who has been posting a lot as well for Women's View. She said, another question which I really want to know: what was the atmosphere like on Ashura? What did you do? Also, what is Ahlulbayt TV's plan for the future shows in Karbala? I think the Ahlulbayt TV plan for the future shows in Karbala, we won't be able to describe it in today's show because lack of time. But the atmosphere like in Ashura, because here in London, when it hits Ashura, you feel, you go to listen to the Maqtali, and you feel so, that day, I can't even describe it, your emotions just take over you. And then I've never been to Karbala on Ashura. I mean, I've been in other days yearly, but on Ashura I've never been, and I don't know how it will be like in Ashura. And as the sister said, how was it like Muharram, Ashura in Karbala, knowing that day in the same place Imam Hussein was killed, beheaded, slaughtered? How did you feel?
Yeah, I like yourself, I've spent almost every Ashura in the UK, in London, and there's a centre that we go to, and the procession afterwards, and I've always been involved with that, and I've never known any better. And obviously with the love that we have in the UK, we have a lot of followers, alhamdulillah, and it's brilliant. But the fact that you finish, you get in your car and you go home, and you see the same house and you see the same road, no one else is mourning. People are mourning near wherever it is that you're congregating. So the blessed experience of being in Karbala during Ashura was the fact that everyone was mourning. People at the hotel, people at reception, the people sitting on the streets, people giving out food. You can see it in their faces, the sorrow. And on the other hand, the atmosphere is so thick with emotion and intense, and there's sorrow everywhere. And I used to say that every day I can feel it more and more, and it's like it kind of takes over you. And you being there, and the constant reminders, that you have the billboards, the posters, the mokibs and the recitations, and obviously out of the hotel room I could see the dome of Abu Fadl Abbas, may Allah bless him. So this constant reminder in the morning in the streets, I sometimes, when you can hear it, sitting in your room, people mourning outside, the cries, it was a different experience altogether. And we were fortunate enough, by coincidence, which we've discussed in one of your other shows, which I won't go into detail, we managed to follow the ladies' procession, which is quite rare. It doesn't actually happen. So by coincidence, long story, we managed to join the procession, go from haram to haram. And it's not something that words can describe, but you just feel this thump in your heart, and you feel like, oh my God, this is where it happened, this is the personality. And something which is, subhanAllah, quite amazing also for me personally, I can only speak for, is every time I felt these emotions, I felt a sense of responsibility that came with it. So when you had an emotion, like breakdown, and you're feeling like you're mourning, you're lamenting, you're like, I've got this knowledge, I have a responsibility now. What do I do with this knowledge? And that used to, and until today, I'm trying to hold on to that, do as much as I can. But we have this responsibility. I mean, if we are lamenting, if we're crying, if we're mourning, surely we're followers. And if we're followers, we have to have the right akhlaqiyat. We have to dress in the appropriate manner. I know we're talking about the hijab campaign later on. And those responsibilities, I mean, as talking about now, I've got hair back on my neck stand, because you know that if you love someone so much, and if you're, this personality who you adore, and you're saying labbaik ya Hussein to, what am I doing for them? So I think with the morning, during Ashura, came this constant reminder of my responsibility, and I think they go hand in hand. And also, obviously, the youth blew me away over there. I mean, you think that all these children, and you can feel it from their heart that, we are in the Holy Land and we're all mourning for the same person. So what made me really sad, every day I used to walk to the studio when I used to go for ziyarat, I used to see the doors open with the curtains that everyone sees. So, I'd walk past, or I'd go and say Assalamu alaikum, and I'd walk away. But when I did go inside during the 10th, the door was closed. We actually went inside, but we couldn't see the doors, and that made me really sad, because it was almost like, when you were there, I don't think you're commemorating history. You feel that person is there, and you feel that nearness. But when the doors were closed, it's like your heart sinks, thinking, oh my God, it's like this reality shock that, this has happened, and it's really immense. I just pray to God, and I did pray for each and every one of you that inshallah you're able to go and visit. But it's an experience that I pray that everyone is able to experience one day.
Definitely, it's mashallah. I mean, like you said, in the UK you feel it, but when you go there, it must be thousands of times or millions of times, stronger, that emotion. But and as for the responsibility, you said, I mean, it is a huge responsibility. I mean, me presenting, every time I do a show, I'm thinking, am I doing justice to the message? I mean, especially during Muharram, Imam al-Hussein sacrificed his life to keep the message alive. And then you think to yourself, am I doing justice to the message he kept alive? And, I only pray that, inshallah, we all do spread the message in the correct way, and we do justice to the message that they kept alive, inshallah. But like you said, it's the responsibility that comes with knowledge, or comes with presenting these shows, or even you presenting Karbala. But now going to the experiences there, because I've had a few experiences in Karbala as well, unexpected experiences. But did you have any unexpected experiences while being in Karbala?
I mean, there's all these things that people say that you will experience this, you'll see this, see that. But there are a lot of things that we are not able to. We're not expecting, and I had a few, but before we go on there, there's something I was going to say earlier on, but back to the sisters that I said to you, and likewise sisters that had approached me saying, the security issues going, the hardship of going to Karbala. But if we take that in the worst case scenario, say for instance, if that deterred you from going, how would anyone know what's going on? Why would I go if I didn't go? I'm not just saying just me, all of these people. If we were worried about going to Karbala, how would anyone find out? How can we propagate the message? So I'm just saying, pledging to all the people that I'm a little bit worried, maybe revisit why you're going, and think that if no one went, if the channel didn't take this challenge and take this courage to say we believe in this is what we want to show the world, then how would the message, surely it would that would have really bad effect. So that was just a response to something you said earlier on. But unexpected experience, again, I said the service that I saw in everyone doing khidmat, everyone being involved, and the youth, that was something that I didn't think that the little children are so passionate, or they have this love in them. And something that was kind of, I had no idea that I'd feel this way, was, again, the simple words, labbaik ya Hussein. And very simple words. And when I'm in processions, I hear a lot of people screaming and shouting, and we say it a lot, and it's something that I see commonly used. And I actually, when the flags changed, when everyone was doing the labbaiks, you feel the ground underneath you shaking, because these words are so strong, and everyone doing it together during the flag change. That was an unbelievable experience, because all together, all one at the same time, all in harmony, saying labbaik. And when I used to go for ziyarat, and at the end of you'd see sort of people coming in, even with the sisters, again they'd pledge their allegiance, labbaik ya Hussein. That was an amazing experience, right in front of the Dhari. And that was, I hope, inshallah, that we can all experience it. But it really does send trembles down your spine, and you think, simple words, but it have such a long-lasting effect on you. So that was something that I wasn't expecting to feel, because you say, labbaik, and here I am. But just feeling it in front of the Dhari of Imam Hussein was quite an experience. And then you see the poverty. I mean, in Iraq as a country, I can't trivialise the fact that Iraq is suffering post-war. But at the same time, the generosity that came hand in hand with that, the people there, the Zahras, how willing they are to help, to give food, to give drinks. And I've spoken about this at great length. But the warm embrace that you got from the locals, it was quite an experience. And we had different people doing mawqifs. We had the Pakistanis, we had the Bahrainis, we had the Iranians, Iraqis, people who obviously are not born in Islam and the reverts. And them all coming together was a different... I've never seen that. I mean, being in such a secular society here and all the diversity that we have, I've not seen it in the UK, but I saw it there in Iraq.
Definitely true, mashallah.
That was amazing.
Definitely. I mean, you see, like, the whole world, no matter which culture you belong to, which nation you belong to, even your status. I mean, rich people go there, modern class people go there, poor people go, and you all go there, and you're all in the same position. There's no differences within class. But we filmed some of the processions that you filmed, I believe, and that was for the Diary Journal. So let's show the audience that. I believe it was the Bahrainis that
it was completely by chance. The nicest people. They saw us with a camera and they let us. They usually don't let you join the procession, but they're very nice people. May Allah bless them.
Definitely true. Can't, due to lack of time, we won't show all the. It's just a quick 1-minute clip. So inshallah, let's have a look at that.
أنا عطشان أريد قطرة مية تروي عطش كبدي بعدها أرجع الميدان وحدي أصيح الله أكبر على كل من اتجبر وراوي هالكفر حملات جدي الله وياك يا ابني لين المايلية روح الهادية وبيك في الجنة العالية الله وياك يا ابني لين المايلية روح الهادية وبيك في الجنة العالية ويا أنا عطشان أريد قطرة مية تروي عطش كبدي بعدها أرجع الميدان وحدي أصيح الله أكبر على كل من اتجبر وراوي هالكفر حملات جدي الله وياك يا ابني لين المايلية روح الهادية وبيك في الجنة العالية الله وياك يا ابني لين المايلية روح الهادية وبيك في الجنة العالية
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. That was a small clip shown of what Fatima Jami and the team filmed in Karbala. And as she was telling me, it was by coincidence that they walked out the studio and these people were going past and they just managed to film it. So that was a small clip as well. That must bring back a lot of memories to you, just watching that. But, mashallah. We're nearly approaching the end of the show. Inshallah, we will organise another show with you, inshallah, continuing on. But I know I'm going to miss like a huge gap now and just go towards, towards the last aspect. But we'll go back and discuss all these in our next show. But now returning back to the UK, I mean, you work in a corporate world. You work in an organisation which I don't know if there's any Muslims in the organisation. Well, no, there isn't. But going back and people ask you, oh, where have you been? And how do you respond to the non-Muslims that may ask you where you went, or did you explain to them or speak to them about your ziyarah trip?
I'll be completely honest, before going I didn't tell anyone. I think I told one person, and that's only because I thought just in case anything, God forbid, happens, she needs to know my responsibility, so it was my admin. But other than that, I didn't want to tell anyone, only because I didn't want anyone to affect the way I'm thinking, and I wanted to keep my thoughts very pure, and I didn't want to get myself into any discussions, because I know I'm kind of prone to get into those kind of discussions before I'm going away. But when I did come back, I spent half a day, when I finally managed to go to work, I only survived for half a day because it was such a shock to my system from Karbala, being where we have been, to Christmas, and they had decorated my office with Christmas trees and things, and it really upset me, and I thought, you know what, I can't handle it, I'm going to go home. And then the next day I went back in, and then I thought, no, I want to talk to people about what I've experienced. And they asked me, so how was your holiday? Everyone's been to different parts of the world. And I said, actually, I went to Iraq. And dropped dead silence. Everyone, whoever I spoke to was like, oh, okay. Did you have fun? And then you have to kind of educate them. And this is something I learned. Something else which is quite valuable, very valuable. And it's the message and what I've seen, what we all see is a responsibility. And the fact that we know it within our community is a blessing. But it's for everyone. It's not exclusive. We don't have rights over the message of Islam. We don't have exclusive rights to Islam or our experiences. Once we have this knowledge, we have to share for everyone. So I've kind of been, obviously with diplomacy, explained that, yes, the post-war situation, the orphans that we saw, the poverty, and, these personalities that also exist there. And, I had one colleague who started crying, and I explained to her, she said, so how did you survive there? Food, hotel, you must have been looked after. And I explained how simple life is over there. And obviously travelling from Samarra to going to other areas, I explained, the children, and, children are children. Everyone has needs, and everyone needs to be clothed and all the rest of it. And of course, the history behind it, talking a little bit about the regime before, the issue that they had with the Shia brothers and sisters, and the destructions of the shrines and how much it hurts us. And I've not had one negative response. Obviously, I'd be smart about it. I wouldn't expect you to go to an environment where you think they're hostile and explain your... You have to understand who is willing to listen. And if they ask you, I think we do have a responsibility to tell them. Definitely. So I've had interesting feedback.
Definitely true, mashallah, that's amazing. I mean, like you said, it isn't a responsibility for us, especially when we live in the West and we connect with, those that may not understand our religion. The responsibility upon us is greater to portray the correct message and to make them understand what Islam's about. And I remember while we're doing a live show here, a woman during the live show contacted us and she's like, I don't know what on earth you're talking about and I'm not Muslim, but who's this Lady Zainab you talk of? And we thought, and the topic was based on the character of Lady Zainab. And during then, we thought, I don't know if the woman's watching now, but we thought, wow, there's people that may not be Muslim, that may actually be interested in what's going on. So the responsibility upon us is greater to portray the correct message and, to make them understand what we're talking about. So
a quick one. I will go into this in the next show, but just to give everyone else, on the way back from Syria, I met two Irish professionals, filmmakers who go to Syria and have workshops, and they said the same thing. We had heard about Lady Zainab's shrine, and we heard about her father, and because of that we wanted to visit her. And he was telling about his experience, obviously non-Muslim. So a lot of people are very intrigued by this whole experience and how peaceful they felt, which we'll discuss later on. But it's across the board. I think a lot of people do feel it.
Definitely true, mashallah. I know we haven't discussed everything, so inshallah in our next show we will discuss all these aspects in more detail and go into detail and show you more pictures behind the scene. But now let's move on briefly, because we're just ending the show. But let's move on briefly to the campaign which we will launch, and we'll do a whole show dedicated to this, and inshallah explain everything and get all the women out there involved in this campaign. But first of all, I wanted to say, I know some people, I just briefly advertised it on YouTube, and the comments, people commented, and then people emailed the email. We have a specific email, if it may be shown at the bottom of the screen now, is hijabawareness@ahlulbayt.tv. Now that's the email for the global awareness campaign. So if you're interested, then please do email that, and that should be at the bottom of the screen. So people have emailed in, we haven't had the chance to reply back, so inshallah, if those are waiting a reply, we will reply back as soon as possible. But now, let me just say briefly, and then I want to get your opinions as well. Like you said, making a responsibility to make those who do not understand. And especially many girls, and I mean, I went to college and university in this society and went to their educational institutes, and many females took off their hijab. Many sisters told me, I said to them, why don't you wear hijab? They said, I'll wear it when I'm ready. And that ready never came. And until I left high school, I think many of the sisters that said, I'll wear it when I'm ready, haven't worn it. And it's not for me to judge or anyone to judge. It's, it's their responsibility and their understanding as well. But I think that many times that there's a lack of education or a lack of understanding of why we wear hijab, which creates that conflict. So I wanted to ask you, why is it important to create this whole hijab awareness? And many people are thinking, what's going on, what we will do, and we will reveal it soon. But why is it important to create this global?
First of all, congratulations for such a spectacular idea, and I think it's really needed, and I'm sure it's going to do very well. This campaign is God, it has all the benefits, and I know that this will help all of us come together, all our sisters, to share our own knowledge, experiences, bring the ones who are sitting on the fence, who are unaware of their responsibilities, to come and join us, and us as one, you know, reach out to the ones who are vulnerable, who are, you know, God forbid, sinking in the pangs of the society and are unaware of what they need to be doing. So this campaign is going to be, because it's global, it's going to bring us all together, and it's going to reinforce the essence of hijab, the fact that we need to be, you know, we have to observe our modesty, and maybe, you know, people that have come on board recently, you know, brothers and sisters who have, you know, who have chosen to wear hijab, then found Islam. I know we've discussed people who have kind of experienced hijab and thought, you know, it's a tool of protection for us, and it's a blessing. So once they've understood, and it's helped them, benefited them, they slowly gear themselves towards Islam. But for myself, when I decided to wear hijab, life just turned around, and it led me to, you know, do all my ziyarats. It exposed me to friends and different environments, and it has protected me, and it carries on protecting me from places and people who I shouldn't be with. So I think, if nothing else, be selfish and protect yourself against society, and you know, join us with this hijab campaign. Get in touch. If there are any sisters out there who are sitting in the corner saying, you know, switching the TV off, I know a lot of people do. They want to be ignorant of the fact that this issue lies, or it's eating them. But what an opportunity to actually get in touch and ask someone to help them, ask yourself, or if they need references, or just join hands with all the other sisters around the world.
Definitely true. I mean, that's what we want to do, in a sense. You know, for all those sisters around the world, whether they wear hijab or not. You know, I think sometimes there's a divide that some people that do wear hijab may think, okay, we wear hijab, you don't, why don't you? And they feel a bit intimidated sometimes. But I think in this global hijab campaign, we want to bring them sisters in. I mean, we're all, inshallah, we're all, you know, God-fearing people. And whether we wear hijab or not, it's understanding why we wear it and having that educational thing. So all those, I know some sisters that don't wear hijab have already contacted me personally, and inshallah they will come on the show as well. So we're just arranging the filming. So for those that are watching, inshallah, some have contacted, and we will be filming, I believe next week we're going to arrange all the filming for all this, so if there's any more as well. But there's a few questions I wanted to ask you as well. First of all, I wanted to say that if anyone wants to get involved, you can either contact me or Fatima Jami in the UK. So if anyone wants to get involved, contact me or Sister Dr Fatima Jami, or the Hijab Awareness Campaign. If you are in Canada, then contact Sakina Bimji, inshallah. And if you are in Washington, we have a sister called Zainab. I will get her details soon, inshallah, once I speak to her. So inshallah, we are slowly getting out to the globally. But I just wanted to ask you, many sisters may say that the hijab seems outdated or something, or, you know, it's that whole emphasis on fashion that they may think hijab is outdated. What would you say to that?
It depends what you know, the zaman is changing, things change on a daily basis. We can't, I mean, you know, in these magazines they say what's in and what's out, and that's something on a weekly basis. So if you're going to, you know, trying to satisfy society and what other people think, then may God be with you. But you have to come away from the superficial parts of this world, and we've said that in previous shows, and set yourself free and liberate yourself from what people are telling you, because if you're going to go with zaman and time, then I don't think anyone's ever going to keep up. But this is a great time after Muharram, and we're approaching Arba'een now, to actually make these pledges and remind yourself that, are you here to satisfy society? And fashion, it depends what you call fashion. I mean, again, who dictates what fashion is? And if you do some research into the people who are behind these journals and what they say women should be wearing, you'd be appalled. And let's go and revisit the role models that we have in society. And if you have the right role models, you'll be adhering to the way they are and their positions, and you will merge with them. And obviously, if you want to follow the people behind the fashion industry, then you will be alarmed to see that, you know, really, do I agree with them? Do they agree with what I want to be like? And I think that will separate you from the superficial, you know, the fashionista things that we are saying.
Definitely.
But again, you know, don't be afraid to ask these questions. And if you have a question, and especially, you know, I know myself, I had a lot of issues. I mean, being, you know, within the corporate world, everyone judging by the way you look and what you're wearing. You can't be wearing the same clothes twice. And these pressures, and you know, how you're doing your hair and this and that and the other. And you think, gosh, is that what, do I want to be in that? And it's a question open to everyone, and you think,
that's true.
No, we don't want to be a part of that.
That's definitely true. I mean, many people may think, or if they do think the hijab's outdated, I mean, no one's telling anyone to look like, you know, just like a bag or something, as people sometimes describe it. You can still look presentable. You can still, present yourself in a good way. Actually, Islam encourages us to be well dressed and you know, presentable. But at the same time, abiding by hijab. I remember actually someone actually told me once, they said, you know, hijab has been put by a man. It says a man's rule on a woman. I said, well, the fashion industry is dominated by men. You know, Ralph Lauren.
Feminist men, actually.
Yeah, and it's amazing that the dress sense that the men put, like Ralph Lauren or the other fashion designers, that's okay to dress by. And I remember once a fashion designer said that, you know, fashion, I don't know, he said something regarding that, how a woman should always seem seductive or that, or like dress, he was talking about dress sense. I forgot the exact words. But it's amazing how they make females believe that, okay, we have to dress like this, and that's all. The fashion industry is dominated by men. But when we, as a choice, want to wear hijab to protect ourselves or to be respected, and I truly believe the hijab does respect us from personal experience, I'm sure you wearing hijab as well, that's, you know, some people put these false arguments forward to try to...
The only way you can say practice that by experiment, first of all, the outdated thing, again, if you're going to be following the people behind the fashion, then, you know, I think you need to do some research about who you're following. But try it, wear a hijab on the weekend, go out and come back and take your hijab off and go out. Well, hopefully you won't do that. But look at the difference that you feel. You feel so much purer, you feel closer to God, you know. And that is only something that will come from within, but you have to give it a try and really fight shaitan. And I know a lot of people say, today I'll wear it, tomorrow I'll wear it, tomorrow I'll wear it. But you know, this niyyah, the sooner you have it, adhere to it, the longer you leave it, the harder it will be to kind of know that this is what you want to do. But again, you know, what I would say is be informed about your decision making and don't submit yourself to what society wants of you, and really liberate yourself. And if we are looking at, you know, we have a lot of sisters who love your shows and they've just come out of, you know, this period of mourning, really this is the best time to make these decisions. And when you want to, you know, before you go for ziyarat, before you do a lot of things, understand that, you know, how close am I to these personalities? Definitely. Who are they to me? Are they my role models? And if they are, say Bismillah and start a new life.
Definitely true. I mean, I think I should do a whole show with you on hijab again. On this, inshallah, we'll plan one in the future, inshallah, and do this. I mean, some of the comments, we've been getting comments in about the hijab campaign itself, inshallah. So that should be shown at the bottom of the screen, so inshallah the audience are reading that. But now we have to, unfortunately, we have to end off the show once again. But inshallah, we'll get you back next week, I believe. So inshallah, we'll speak to you then. Thank you so much for joining us today. As for the audience at home, I hope you enjoyed today's topic. Once again, you can email our hijab campaign to find out more on what's going on. That should be on the screen. And also, I hope you enjoyed listening to Dr Fatima Jami's Karbala experience. We are having her back on the show next week, inshallah, for more pictures, more videos, and more of her experience, inshallah. That's all for today. Please do join me on Tuesday, I believe. Same time, same place. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Imam Hussein was killed, beheaded, slaughtered. How did you feel?
Yeah, I like yourself, I've spent almost every Ashura in the UK, in London, and there's a centre that we go to, and the procession afterwards, and I've always been involved with that. And I've never known any better. And obviously, with the love that we have in the UK, we have a lot of followers, alhamdulillah, and it's brilliant. But the fact that you finish, you get in your car and you go home, and you see the same house and you see the same road. No one else is mourning. People are mourning near wherever it is that you're congregating. So the blessed experience of being in Karbala during Ashura was the fact that everything was, I found...
I'm going to be waiting to hear the lovely experience of Sister Fatima, and inshallah, Sister Zahra will be called soon to go to Ziyarah, and Sister Fatima again, and hopefully I can meet you there with you both. So first of all, thank you very much for your kind comments. It's really heartwarming when we hear comments from our viewers, and you know, inshallah, I do pray that inshallah we all get the chance to go to Karbala, and inshallah with you as well, and many of our sisters from around the world. So inshallah we'll get that. Another comment from my sister Fatima Latif, who has been posting a lot as well on For Women's View. She said, another question which I really want to know, what was the atmosphere like? بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum dear viewers and welcome back to Women's View on Ahlulbayt TV. Today we're pleased to have Dr Fatima here in the studio with us talking about her experience in Karbala as she has just returned from Karbala during 10 days of Ashura. She was presenting to us live from Karbala. So inshallah today we'll be hearing about her experience, and I just want to remind you all that this is a live call-in show, so if you would like to call in with your views or opinions, then please do call in with the number on the screen. On Ashura, what did you do? Also, what is Ahlulbayt TV's plan for the future shows in Karbala? I think the Ahlulbayt TV plan for the future shows in Karbala, we won't be able to describe it in today's show because lack of time, but the atmosphere like in Ashura, because here in London, when it hits Ashura, you feel, you go to listen to the maqtal, and you feel so, that day, I can't even describe it, your emotions just take over you. And then I've never been to Karbala on Ashura. I mean, I've been in other days yearly, but on Ashura I've never been, and I don't know how it will be like in Ashura. And as the sister said, how was it like Muharram, Ashura in Karbala, knowing that day in the same, some of your messages are already being shown at the bottom of the screen, so inshallah you can catch those in and out the show. So let's go straight back to our show. I'm your host Zahra Al Alawi, and today with me is Dr Fatima. Assalamu alaikum. I mean, before the break, you told us a lot about, your experience and, the planning that goes behind the scenes and, stuff we usually do not see on screen. So, inshallah, that was really great. Now, we have some comments from our viewers that were posted on Facebook. Let me read some of them. This is Sister Arwa, and I've been in contact with this sister quite a lot, and I believe you have as well, mashallah. She said, Assalamu alaikum and welcome back, my lovely sisters. I missed so much.